Philip, it's 5 minutes. I'm going to put the battery in. Would you please count us down? Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Off we go.
Are you a big reader yourself?
Yes, omnivorous. I read every kind of book and all sorts of books, and I don't read them strictly or according to a sort of religious schedule. If a book loses my interest, I lose interest in the book.
Do you have a favourite book?
A favourite book? Yeah, I think I had to say that my favourite book is a children's book called The Magic Pudding, written by Norman Lindsay. It's an Australian children's classic. It's the funniest children's book ever written. I grew to love it when I was about 8 years old, and I've never tired of it. It's a wonderful book.
Do you have a favourite film?
Yeah, The Magnificent Seven.
Do you have a favourite composer?
Oh, well, that's a much more difficult one. Sometimes it's Mozart, sometimes it's Mendelssohn, sometimes it's Beethoven. But really, I suppose I could say that my favourite composer really is Nikolai Medtner, a Russian composer of piano music. Not very well known, but a wonderful composer.
Do you ever listen to pop or rock music?
Not very much. Not present-day pop or rock music. I've got a soft spot for the pop music that was there when I was a child, when I was a young. Yeah, of course I have.
Did you want to be an author when you were a child, when you were growing up?
I think I did. I always wanted to tell stories. And when I realised that the person who had their name on the front of the book got paid money as well, that was almost irresistible. So I think I always did.
Did you have a big imagination as a child?
I don't know if it was big in comparison with other children's imagination. Children's imaginations are pretty big. But I was very much at home with my imagination. I liked playing with it. I liked telling stories. I liked getting lost in it. It was always a friend.
Do you think storytelling is really important?
Well, it's something we all do, even if we don't think we're doing it. The difference, I think, between someone who does it professionally and someone who doesn't is that we recognise when a story has got possibilities. We know what to do to play with it and make it earn its keep. Many people think they haven't got any ideas at all and they wish they could have ideas and then they could be a writer. Well, they do. They just call them daydreams.
Do you see yourself more as a storyteller than a writer, if you see what I mean?
Yeah, there is a difference. And I think I do, yes. For a storyteller, it's the events that are more important than anything else. The events in the story, how they fit together, how they unfold, how they can turn back on themselves, that sort of thing. Plot is a very important thing for me. But for a writer, I suppose words and sentences are the important thing, and plot is of less importance. Really, of course, they should all be the same importance.
Do you set out to target a particular audience, a particular age group, or does that look after itself later on?
No, I never did that. I never consider the audience at all. It's none of their business what I write. They can come into the transaction much later on when I finish the book, but I don't want them looking over my shoulder and telling me what to write. Go away, go on, clear off.
You were a teacher for over 10 years. You taught 9 to 13-year-olds.
That's right.
Did that have an impact on you as a writer?
Yeah, yes, it did. In two ways, I think. I grew to know what children of that age like listening to and reading. And more importantly, really, it gave me a chance to practice storytelling. I did that because I was allowed to, because there was no national curriculum to say, "Oi, stop that, you've got to be doing the semicolon, this is Tuesday afternoon." Nobody came and told me to do that. So I told them stories, all sorts of stories. And that was a great apprenticeship I had. Very few people have the chance to do that now, but I was able, for example, to tell the Iliad 30 times. You know, 10 years, 3 classes a year, and doing that gave me a tremendous sense of shape, story shape, and timing, and things like that.
Do you set out to tell moral tales? Do you think your work can have a moral voice?
Every kind of work has a moral voice, whether we want it to or not. If you do something seriously with all your mind and all your strength, as you do when you're writing a big book that's important to you, your moral values will come through. You can't help them coming through. Inevitably, they'll be there.
Do you see yourself as an agnostic or an atheist?
In the strictest sense of the word, I'd have to say agnostic, because I don't know. The world, the universe is much bigger than my knowledge of it. But I've seen no evidence of God, and I've been persuaded by no rational argument that we have to have a God. So on a small scale, I'm an atheist.
What would it take to convince you that there is or was a God?
A direct experience of some sort, I imagine. Don't think rational argument would ever do it.
Are you a disciplined writer?
Yes, in the sense that I write every day.
Do you have a favourite time of day to write?
The morning is best.
And that, Philip Pullman, is 5 minutes.
Well timed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.